Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, this is Jesse with the Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things underneath the way common sense lens. And I have obviously never hid the fact that I'm a DC fanboy, right? Batman and Superman were just some of my first heroes as a kid growing up. And it's always just the side of things I've kind of lined up on, right? As well. Obviously, I love a lot of Marvel characters. You can't help but love Captain America and Spider-Man and the X-Men and the Fantastic Four and the Eternals and so many other wonderful characters from Marvel Comics. Not necessarily the representations we've got out there from Disney Marvel after all. But at the end of the day, boys and girls, it's one of them situations. DC and Marvel have always been competitors, right? That's always been in the way. Back in the day when comics were super popular and dominating the market in America, you always had your DC guys and your Marvel guys, right? And there were some people out there who would not cross over, although I think it's a bit of their loss because there's some great stories from both sides of things. But at the end of the day, we all ended up having our team. And boys and girls, I am Team DC. And at the end of the day, considering what Kevin Feige and the rest of Disney Marvel has done to all of our beloved characters and the absolute abominations they have made, much like the Eternals, and now we see Fantastic Four flopping at the box office as well. By the way, happy birthday to Jack Kirby as well. I apologize on the behalf of all of Marvel, even though they never will either, for disrespecting some of your great creations. But back to DC and Marvel, boys and girls. The beautiful part of things out there is with Marvel continuing to do bad things and destroy their reputation with fans and continue to destroy characters and give us nonsense storytelling, their ratings have done nothing but decline when it comes to their television shows and honestly their box offices as well. And at the end of the day, boys and girls, that is something that is wonderful to see because it's exactly what they deserve. And if they go down far enough, maybe eventually they'll change their ways. But this black eye on the face of Kevin Feige, boys and girls, is just chef's kiss. And whether you like Peacemaker or not, you cannot deny the numbers because it is doing something Marvel has never done in the history of all of their television shows since they've moved everything onto Disney Plus. And that is have their second season do better than their first one, boys and girls. And Peacemaker has done that. Now, you can argue it's the marketing from James Gunn telling them that Peacemaker to a certain degree is kind of a continuation of the Superman movie that did much better than Fantastic Four at the box office, despite technically losing money. But at the end of the day, boys and girls, whatever it is, the numbers don't lie. 2 + 2 still equals 4. And Peacemaker Season 2 has done something that Kevin Feige's Marvel has never been able to pull off. Because Peacemaker Season 2 opens with strong 22% boost in viewership. Find me a single Marvel Disney Plus series where if they did get a second season, it did better than the first season. Even on top of all of that, the majority of Disney Plus's series have progressively done worse than the last release. Peacemaker, on the other hand, is doing better than its first season, boys and girls. So we're going to check out this article from cosmicbook.news, getting all of the juicy details and see what these actual numbers are and how much it is crushing it out there, especially above everything that Disney Marvel has produced over the last few years. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and we just crossed 2,100. We're sailing our way towards 100,000 subscribers. I think we're sitting at like 2,171, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Let me know what you think about all this. Does it surprise you at all with the success of Superman and the reboot of the DC universe that people were more willing to jump in and see Peacemaker Season 2 and see what all of the hype was about and see how many of the characters we will actually end up seeing show up from the Superman movie? Or do you think this is more just the fact that it shows you how bad of a state Marvel is actually in? Are you a Marvel fanboy out there and you're upset to see these numbers? But hey, it's just the reality of things. Let us know what you think about it in the comment section down below. All opinions are welcome as always. And if you'd like to support the channel, please check out the links in the description as well. All right, boys and girls, from cosmicbook.news and our dear sweet Matt McGloin. James Gunn's Peacemaker Season 2 is off to a strong start on HBO Max. According to Samba TV, the new season pulled in 22% more U.S. households in its first 4 days than the season 1 finale back in 2022. And for the rare instances, in cases like the Loki series out there, which turned into all-female Loki season 2, Even season 2 of Loki, the easily arguable, if not undeniable, most successful show on Disney Plus. Now, given its numbers weren't as good as WandaVision, but WandaVision only had one season, right? Even Loki season 2 with Tom Hiddleston as the quote unquote lead in the series out there could not pull in more viewers than it did in season 1. Peacemaker, on the other hand, has done that. And it's not just 2 or 3% more. It's 22%. Almost a quarter more people watch the Peacemaker season 2 premiere than watch the Peacemaker season 1 finale. But let's see you pull that off, Kevin Feige. There you go, right there, straight from Samba themselves. Early digital releases of Superman may have helped. We talked about this a little bit at the beginning as well. One of the big questions leading into the new season, it was if releasing James Gunn's Superman to digital early would provide a lift for Peacemaker. The numbers do suggest it might have, and that makes total sense. We do know from James Gunn himself, this is the reason why Superman hit digital so fast. And James Gunn has already told us, at least in the series finale of Peacemaker season 2, we will see characters from the Superman movie. Now, are we going to do something very similar to what they tried to do at the end of season 1 with the Justice League showing up? Probably, at least to some extent. It would not surprise me at all that David Cornsweat's Superman ends up showing up. We know we're probably going to at least get Guy Gardner and his Justice Gang at some point in all of this, right? Because those characters would definitely work out very well for Peacemaker. And obviously, there's been a lot of issues with there's been some questionable things happen in Peacemaker season 1. Now, I haven't watched, or season 2, I haven't watched the new episode yet. We ended up going with our Discord, ended up deciding Alien Earth instead of Peacemaker season 2, but I will end up watching it at some point. But it's one of those things, the real question is, will the second episode's numbers be able to hold up to what the first episodes do, or after the giant adult kind of scene in that first episode, are the ratings going to drop? We'll find out here in a couple of weeks. But at the end of the day, as of right now, it is still crushing Marvel, boys and girls. With Superman still fresh in viewers' minds and available on demand, audiences appear to have followed Gunn's DCU momentum straight into Peacemaker, which is exactly what you want when you reboot the DC universe out there when it comes to your movies and your television shows and everything else. This is what you want to see. This is the kind of momentum you want to see. Yes. Did Superman technically lose money at the box office? Yes. Is it still more money than DC has made at the box office in a very long time? Absolutely. And you understand when you're starting something fresh, you are going to have to give people a chance to whether or not they're going to decide to trust you. And they're going to have to hear from fans. If you want to know what we thought about Superman, go check out me and Mrs. Common Nerd's review of the Superman movie. And it was the first review she'd ever done too. So if nothing else, go check that out. I think she did a really good job. But at the end of the day, that all makes sense. This is why you do, this is marketing working properly, right? From a good planning perspective. This is boosting Peacemaker season 2's numbers. The question is, can they hold on to those numbers? We'll find out. If anything, the bump in viewership does show fans are excited for Gunn's DCU. I am. I'm cautiously optimistic about where else we're going to go. I enjoyed Superman. The increase in viewership can also be viewed as a positive sign for Gunn's approach, which not only potentially connects his theatrical releases with streaming content, but also allows him to push boundaries with R-rated humor and adult themes in Peacemaker while still tying directly into the broader DCU. And that's one of the things that I've talked about in the past when there was a lot of backlash and a lot of reaction. People going, oh my God, James Gunn said Superman's going to lead right into his R-rated, Peacemaker series out there and yada, yada, yada. And that he's encouraging kids to watch this R-rated show. Okay, first off, you were putting words in James Gunn's mouth. That's not what he said at all. If anything, he specifically flat out said, yeah, this is not for your kids. Okay, the Superman movie's for your kids. You do not want to let them to watch Peacemaker. So he warned everybody exactly what Peacemaker entailed. And boys and girls, it's on HBO Max, and it's not exactly listed under the kids section, okay? HBO Max is not a studio, is not a channel that you really correlate with children's shows, okay? Can we all just be a little honest on that and not just try to blow smoke up everybody's butts for clicks, okay? Nobody's going to HBO Max for their children's entertainment, okay? Let's be completely honest about that, all right? So it's one of them situations where this could all end up really panning out well for them. If the fans stick around, Peacemaker could become a breakout show on HBO Max. I mean, they did just have a great win with Penguin, which the fact that they can't drum up enough money to get Colin Farrell back is just really stupid. But hey, that's a story and an argument for another day. Peacemaker could become a breakout show on HBO Max, which continues to push the DCU forward following Creature Commandos, which we reviewed Creature Commandos on our Thursday night show. I wanted to like that. I really did. It's got great animation. It's got a great intro. The music's awesome. But the story and the editing are abysmal. There was literally only one episode, and it was the Batman episode that we actually enjoyed. Sunker and I on Thursday nights, that is. And while not connected, Matt Reeves is the Penguin. With the multiverse twist already teased in season 2 premiere, audience interest could remain high heading into the next episodes. And like I said earlier, Matt said you can read his review out here. He really liked it a lot. And this is one of those things we know, in case you hadn't heard, in case you weren't aware of the marketing and stuff like that going on around it, or you didn't watch the trailer for Peacemaker season 2, literally John Cena's character says in the trailer, there's another world out there. There's a better world than this we'll be happier living there, yada, yada, yada. So we know at some point Peacemaker and his whatever crew, his whatever little team he's got around him is going to end up essentially figuring out a way to jump into the David Cornsweet universe, right? That new DCU. And so it's one of them situations where that's probably what's going to happen. That's probably what the season finale is going to be. The real question is there enough good in the rest of the show to hold people around for that? Or are we going to see the numbers drop mid-season and then everybody's going to either binge or just show up for the last one when you get to see the Justice Gang and whoever else they bring in for this? I don't know, but I'll be fascinated to keep an eye on it and see how this goes. But at the end of the day, my point stands true. Whether you like James Gunn, whether you like his new approach to DC, whether you hated the Superman movie or you loved it, whether you can't stand John Cena or Peacemaker, doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Because this proves, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that if nothing else, there is way more hype for the new rebooted DC universe under James Gunn than there is for anything under Kevin Feige and Marvel. Because they have done something that undeniably Marvel has never done. Season 2 is doing better than season 1 for Peacemaker. And boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, that is egg on the face and a black eye for Kevin Feige's Marvel. Because this is what he's done. These are the choices he's made. To listen to that little, apparently the true power behind the throne that told him that doesn't like comic book stories and doesn't want anything to be doesn't want to feel like it's too comic book accurate, doesn't want to feel like it's too much of a comic book movie while they're making Marvel movies. Or Kevin Feige's own cowardice and bowing down to a lot of the activists out there that gave us the absolute abomination that was She-Hulk. Whatever it is, at the end of the day, it's his fault. Marvel has lost because they decided to go down the path of not sticking to the source material and decided to chase this activist modern audience crowd. It cost them tens of billions of dollars in investments. And now the broke Warner Brothers with their new rebooted DC universe is doing something that Marvel, despite their billions of dollars at the box office, despite the profits they made, despite them being top of the throne for so long, boy, it shows you that yes, indeed, even the mighty can fall. And it turns out, after all of these years, boys and girls, this DC fanboy is very happy to announce DC has just crushed Marvel. And it's exactly what they deserve. Enjoy that egg, Kevin Feige. You've done it to yourself after all. A big shout out to all of our subscribers and members out there. Thanks for watching, and make sure you guys like and subscribe if you have not already.